yet from North Korea about the American soldier who crossed the border from South Korea yesterday. Private Travis King walked away from a tour group in the demilitarized zone, or the DMZ, and was taken into custody. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Elizabeth Palmer is monitoring the latest developments from London.
Hello there. Yes, Private King was actually supposed to be on his way back to the United States from South Korea because he'd been sent to jail for assault. But having been taken to the airport, he turned around somehow and joined this tour group headed for the heavily mined border area between North and South Korea. The DMZ itself is a strip of wilderness stretching 160 miles between the two Koreas. But Private King chose this place, famous for diplomatic encounters like President Trump's meeting with Kim Jong-un, to make his move. CBS News visited that area in February. Ever since the beginning of COVID, when North Korea really sealed its borders, it's been virtually impossible for anyone to get in or out. But it turns out all it took was nerve and will, because at the start of the pandemic, North Korea, for some reason, removed all the guards on its side. The tour group's bus had dropped them in the so-called joint security area of the DMZ. You can see the border between the two countries in red runs right through the buildings. One of the tourists there said they just left those blue buildings, known as Meeting Row, when the soldier bolted over the border. Private King was with the American forces stationed in South Korea. A U.S. official said he was being sent back to Fort Bliss, Texas, to face possible military discipline and to be discharged. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says he believes he's now in custody inside North Korea.
I'm absolutely foremost concerned about the welfare of our troops.
North Korea hasn't yet commented on the incident, and it's going to be a challenge to get information about Private King, let alone access to him, as the U.S. has no diplomatic representation in North Korea, and most Western officials who might have acted on the U.S.'s behalf were forced to leave during the pandemic. Anne-Marie, Nancy?
Liz, thank you.
It's the U.S. soldier here. Shalom.
Army Private Travis King, 23 years old, who had served almost 50 days in detention here in South Korea after some sort of an assault or a scuffle. Lawyers described it as a typical, potentially drunken confrontation, and he would basically be kicked out of the Army. So instead, what is believed to have happened is that he joined a tour group, crossed the Unification Bridge, went into the Joint Security Area. This is the Unification Bridge, just beyond these barricades here, and you can see spike strips on the ground, barricades. Basically, they don't want people coming here unless they have authorization. This is an area that might be familiar to you, even if you've never been there, because it's where President Trump, the former president, and the North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un met and had a impromptu discussion several years back, and President Trump then stepped over what's known as the military demarcation line and became the first sitting U.S. president to step foot on North Korean soil. So even though we haven't seen security video to see what Travis King, the Army private, actually how he crossed, very likely he probably took a very similar path to the former president.
Shalom, this is a race to U.S. soldier, Army, Travis King, who willfully and pretty much unauthorized, without permission, to go on the North Korean side. He is facing, he served some time for assault by alleged reports, and he would be faced to go back in the States and be discharged, pretty much. Something quick, real quick, the description. Ciroc 5 and 15.
I'm gonna pay one more time, though.
This is Ciroc 5 and 15. Or Ecclesiasticus 5 and 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great or small matter. So in general, be not ignorant anything great or small, because it could be more than what actually is being said or being told, for example. And sometimes it's more than what it seems. But be not ignorant, that's in general, relating to great matters or small. Could be a lot more in this story than what it seems. Let me see, what other scripture? Go to Luke 12:2. Luke 8:17. Let me see that. But there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid anything that shall not be known. So anything hid or covered in secret is going to be made manifest, be made known. 8:17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest. Anything secret is going to be made known, eventually made manifest, to be made known. Neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. So anything secret hid is going to be made manifest and known. It's going to come, whatever hides, pretty much, they say in the world, whatever hides in the dark, the light's going to shine on it and it's going to be exposed, man, no matter of speaking. He says Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28. I'm not making this a long lesson, it's something short. Number 13. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Whether in the city or in the field, it's going to be a curse, man. So whether it's the city or the field, is going to be a curse. This relates to the curses. 1-14 talks about if you do according to what you're supposed to do, it'll be beneficial and prosperous. But 15-68 talks about if you don't do, it's going to be a consequence, man. Pretty much forms of consequence and punishment, man. So in the matter of speaking, whether in the city or in the field, it's going to be a curse, man. Let's get some other ones. Let me see. (28-50). A nation of a fierce countenance, which is appearance, what shall not regard person of old, nor shew favor to the young. So whether old or young or otherwise, they're not going to shew favor to you. You're a foreigner in a country that's very hostile, very pretty much opposite of democracy, man. And you're a different person of a different nation, you know, they're not going to regard you, man. They're not going to regard you with, they're not going to regard you, period, man. You know what I mean? Plus with the tensions between that particular country and America, you know. So with North Korea doing these missiles and missile launches every 5 seconds, so you know it's not good for business, in a matter of speaking, you know. But this was just something quick, you know what I mean, relating to that, you know, the individual. So it's a Jake, so-called Jake. Going into an area that he's probably avoid going back home, you know, for whatever reason. I think a report talking about he might have suffered a breakdown or something, some kind of breakdown in one of the reports. So who knows? Anyway, this is something short. I'm gonna give all praise Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shem Rakakadash. Hope it helps. Shalom.